Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review Land of the Living Gods #1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. And we see the cover here for Land of the Living Gods #1. It is an Aftershock comic, and it is by Isaac Mogajane and Santos. And we start off in Johannesburg in the year 3119. And it says, what's left of the place? It seems like the world has gone through some kind of apocalypse or something, and the earth is pretty dried up and desolate. We see a person here walking through the streets. We see another person here, and it looks like this guy's a cyborg or something, and he's got a hyena dog. And the hyena catches the scent of this person. As that person hides, the hyena goes up to the car. But this spirit comes out of nowhere and scares the dog and makes it run away. It also scares away the man. He sees the spirit as well and is like, we got to get out of here. And then the person behind the car that was hiding says a prayer to the spirit, thanking it. We go home with that person, and her name is Naledi, and she lives in this apartment building with her mom. Her mom is sick, but I'm not sure exactly with what. And they also have this flower named Buyo that is like alive. It actually moves and has responses to her comments. And it turns out that that flower has some kind of healing properties as well, because Naledi grounds up the leaves and gives the tea to her mom. And then in the middle of the night, her mom wakes up kind of screaming and is saying that like the gods have marked her and that she needs to find the home of the gods, and that the plant knows the way back to the home of the gods. But then it was like she was in a trance, and then the mom kind of snaps out of it and says, I don't want to go back. And Naledi is like, oh, it was just a dream, Mom, but it doesn't seem like it was just a dream. So the next day, her mom makes some food and talks to her about the dream and says like, oh, it wasn't really anything important. Naledi goes to make a trade for a battery. She's trading some of the petals of Buyo, their plant, to this shaman. And apparently the petals of Buyo are very hard to get and are very rare. When that trade is done for the battery and the petals, the shaman is like, hey, I'll read your future. So she throws some bones and then begins to read. And as she does, something kind of takes her over. And it's basically telling Naledi that she's got a bigger destiny and that she needs to find the land of the living gods. So the next day, she's kind of freaked out by that experience, and she decides to go on the journey. She has a map somehow. I'm not exactly sure how she has a map, but the plant definitely knows the way. It actually marks a spot on the map for her, and she takes off. Then we come back to the cyborg guy with the hyena from the beginning, and he's talking to his gang about how slim pickings it's been in the city and whatnot, and they wish they had got that person the other day. And then he looks over and he sees Naledi walking, and he approaches her and he pulls back her hood and reveals that she is albino. We do find out later that in this world, the albinos are wanted for magical purposes, like from the shaman. So she kicks him in the nuts and runs away. And that's where I'm going to stop it. I don't want to spoil any more of this comic. This was an interesting one. It didn't really like grab me that much. I think the problem was the world was like a mix of sci-fi and then also like fantasy stuff. Those two things don't usually go together well in my mind, where you have like cyborgs and technology stuff, but also magic and gods and things. I don't know. In my mind, those two things don't work well together. This book's kind of like the setup of everything. So obviously it's #1 and it's got to introduce the whole world. So I understand the first issue wasn't going to be the best issue ever of this comic. The art was good, kind of like your standard indie looking book right now, but it was well done. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. It wasn't like amazing. It wasn't terrible. It was just a good start to a new series. And personally, I'm not going to continue this one just because I didn't like the feel of the mix of the genres, like the sci-fi and the fantasy elements and whatnot. But if you saw something you like, definitely go pick it up at your local comic store, and we will see you guys on the next one.